Yeah, I think the conversation really comes down to what level of service they're needing or expecting for their clients. So you're going to have two different kinds of advisors. You're going to have an advisor that is a specialist in the space that knows what they're doing, knows plan design through and through, and really knows how they want the plan to react and behave for their client. And then you're going to have somebody that looks at the 401k plan or the cash balance plan as kind of a nuisance and more of a segue to get them into other parts of the client's book of assets. And they're really not, it's not that they're not qualified to set the plans up. They just don't know what they don't know. And they're going to have different experiences based on which path they take. So, in a bundled service model, the responsibility of the plan design, the responsibility of the administration of the plan, and a lot of the liability that we would otherwise take on as a TPA is pushed back to the plan sponsor. So you're going to get a report from a bundled record keeper or a payroll company that says, hey, you signed up for this plan. You selected these provisions. We have no idea, and then maybe they have some idea, but they haven't put a lot of forward thought into how those triggers or levers that they're pulling inside the plan document ultimately impact the outcome of the plan. And you get a lot of surprises. So let's say you get this report back that says, hey, asterisk down at the bottom, you've got 15 things wrong with your census data. Let us know if they're wrong. Well, I can't put that asterisk down at the bottom of the report and just shove the liability back on the plan sponsor. And the advisors that are selecting these scenarios, I guess, don't really, it's not that they don't understand that there's a difference. It's that they're not focused on this. So that bundled model with the low touch scrubbing of the census or the low touch analyzation of the output of that retirement plan could bite them in the end. So when you go to a bundled service provider or you go to a payroll company, you're going to get whatever you signed up for. Whatever buttons were pushed, whatever plan provisions were selected in that document will determine your future. And if you use a TPA, we're going to look at what the future could be before we push those buttons or before we lock you into that plan design. So when you set up a plan with us, we're looking at the next 10 years, not just today or not just what the client wanted. We're going to look for points that this thing is going to break. We're going to look for friction that might come from a bad plan design, and then we're going to custom tailor the design around that client specific need for retirement plans and tax deductions. So really what it comes down to, Amanda, in the bundled model, you kind of get what you get, you set it up, and it's not really a set and forget, but it's for more low touch, smaller end products. Whereas, somebody that uses a TPA is looking for custom plan design or that next level of option that can benefit both the employer and the employee at that point, but it's really just designed around the specific need for that individual client. So in an advisor's minds, when they come to a TPA, they know that they're going to get this full court prep, this full analysis on every outcome that could happen for the client. And maybe they know that the client just wants a deferral only plan or safe harbor, and therefore they're okay going to a profit or a fintech-like solution where the payroll company or the record keeper's handling everything with very minimal customization. But the reason I think an advisor would use one of those is for a client that just doesn't care. It's out of sight, out of mind. They need to put the plan somewhere, and they don't need all the bells and whistles. But anytime they need profit sharing, anytime they need advanced plan design, or anytime there's something complex like a exotic structure from the corporate side, owner might have 10 different employers, owner might own 10 different companies, something exotic like that, they're going to bring us in. So, it's kind of, you get what you pay for. And if you're going for a cheap robot type experience where, everything's automated and it's set and forget, that's your payroll company, that's your bundled service provider. If you're looking for hands-on white glove customer experience, that's when an advisor, usually a specialist or somebody that's had experience within the past, is going to bring us in so we can do our thing and make sure that the plan is, designed appropriately.